I had a couple questions I wanted to ask you too.
All right.
You know, best piece of advice just relating to life outside of motorsports. And I ask this because I have a lot of respect for your humble personality. You know, you have a lot of cool race cars. You have a great family. You have an incredible building that we're in right now. And I guess I just would be curious what kind of life advice you would offer.
Well, I appreciate you asking. I hesitate to give it because it's not, I'm not perfect. I don't live that advice every day to the T. Of course, nobody is perfect. And everything that we see on social media isn't always how everything is in real life. You know that, right? And so I know you know that. And we only put the good stuff on social media.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's some tough days at home, And but I would say that, golly, man, and this is, I used to tell my buddies, and it's such a silly thing. It's very cliche, but don't let the good times pass you by, right? There were so many times where my buddies called me up and were like, "Hey, man, we're hanging out tonight."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, man, this new video game came out. I'm going to do that." And I regret every one of those days that I didn't go and hang out.
Okay.
And I let a moment or an opportunity to be with my friends or spend time with a group pass me by because of some silly, trivial thing that I thought I needed to be doing in that moment. As I got older, and I get older now, I'm closer to the finish line than I am the beginning, and I think that I'm even more aware of like how these, and it's not, I'm not perfect, man. I still struggle with it. But like these silly arguments or disagreements that I might get in with family or my wife or something that's disappointing, maybe a race didn't go the way I wanted it to, or something, a project I'm working on wasn't successful like I hoped. I got to spend less time bummed.
It doesn't really
and
matter.
Bothered. Yeah, because I'm wasting time.
I try to hold myself to that too.
Yeah.
I feel it about a couple days later. I'm like, why was I so upset about it?
I still do it. I still don't. I don't adhere to that. But God, I hate. And I'll get in some things. I'll get in some moods, right? Or I'll have a rough couple of days over something.
Yeah.
And I'm in the middle of it, and I'm going, God, I gotta drop this.
Feel that, yeah.
I am wasting time.
Okay.
I want to be happy.
Yeah.
I want to make memories with my girls. I want to go hang with my friends. I want to be on the gas every day, right? Yeah. But I'm not. I'm not that. But I want that, and that's like how I try to live. I wished I would have been that way when I was younger. I mean, I ran hard, but I did take some days off.
Yeah.
And did just didn't do anything for the sake of doing nothing. And I wish I would have traveled the world more when I was younger. Okay. I really didn't get that bug until later. Yeah. But you got to get out, man.
Okay. And a real quick question. You
don't need that advice because you're already.
Well, I love to hear this stuff. And tell me if this is getting too personal. No. You have 2 kids, right? Mm-hmm. Do you wish you had more?
I don't. Okay. Now that could change, right? I'm still. Nicole's 2, Nicole's 4, and Isla's 6, and the way I looked at it was, I thought that I couldn't love anyone more than my wife, or I thought I couldn't love harder, I guess is the way to put that. I thought that I was loving to my max, with Amy, and then when she gave birth to Isla, my love for Amy went up another notch.
I know.
Damn, man, I can't believe
I
you
remember
did
that feeling in the delivery room.
Yes.
It's like, I love you so much.
I know. And I'm like, I can't believe that you and I made this, and you are the one that
it's a mind-blowing feeling.
It's crazy. It's hard.
It's so primitive.
Yes, it is. And then, your love for your kids is another level of love that you didn't realize you had in you. And so I kind of been riding that high, and I yeah, I mean, after 2, I was kind of like, hey, man, I'm happy.
That's kind of how we feel.
Yeah.
But I was just curious, you have a similar lifestyle, and I would love to. I just wanted to know
really
that.
am good, where we are. And I think that, I mean, the other thing, too, I'll tell you, my age, right? I worry about, my girls when they graduate. I'll be in my late 60s, when they're going through graduation and into college and things like that. And I'm like, man, I don't know how this will sound, but I felt like having kids at my age. I know what it's like to lose your parent when you're young, right? And even in your 20s, you're not really prepared for
That's
losing that rudder, or that guidance. Yeah. And so I felt like, shoot, man, I don't want to bring a child into this world and then leave them in their early 20s or even earlier. I don't know what's guaranteed for me. And so I was thinking about that too. So
it's a tough perspective.
It is a tough perspective, and it's selfish maybe, but I don't know. I was just like, hey, I'm lucky to have figured it out. I was stupid for waiting as long as I did to figure it out and get my life into this position. I should have married Amy way sooner. I should have started our family sooner. I shouldn't have waited for that because I thought, man, I got to do more wild shit. I want to just have fun and race, and I'm selfish, and I want to do what I want to do. I ain't answering to nobody, and I ain't living by nobody else's rules and no compromising. It's very selfish. Yeah. But I wish I'd have figured that out sooner. So, because I got buddies that are my age, and they're like, my daughter's going to college. And I'm like, damn, I wish my daughter was going to college. I mean, I wish I would have.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
But you're also in such a good time.
I'm loving, dude, I love where I'm at. But I should have figured this out sooner.
Okay.
I guess, than I did.
All right, I gotcha. Yeah. George was wondering if you eat liver mush.
Hell yes.
Really?
Hell yes.
He's a liver mush. What the hell's liver mush?
Dude,
Can you give me a quick description of the ingredients?
No, I mean, I probably could pull it up, but I don't want to know. Let me tell you, man, when people are different, everybody cuts it different. But when you cut it thin and you get it almost
that's literally what he says.
Cut it thin, cook it crispy.
Oh my god.
Oh damn, it's good.
All right.
Mustard, liver mush with mustard and toast. Or regular.
Big North Carolina thing. If you don't know what liver mush is, you should look it up.
Holy
it's interesting stuff.
It is so good.
Is it true?
Amy even eats it. Amy's she never heard of it. And she would not eat it. She's like, hell,
I gotta try it again. If Amy eats it, I gotta try it again.
She finally ate some, and she's like, yep, she'll cook it every now and then. I get so proud when she cooks it.
Is it true that Dale your father flew over your house party with a helicopter to shine a spotlight on the party?
Yeah, ran everybody off.
That's the coolest thing I've ever heard.
It wasn't great in the moment. I used to race on Saturdays in the Xfinity Series.
Yeah.
And I think it might have been like Darlington or Martinsville is a close track where Dad would helicopter back and forth. And so I ran my race. It wasn't Martinsville. We didn't race the Xfinity there. So it might have been Darlington. I ran my race, and I'd already planned this. So like Friday or so, I'm like, all right, boys, let's get the beer. We go shop. We get the beer. We got the whole basement. I got a club in my basement.
Yeah.
We got everything ready. And, man, when I get home, don't start without me, but when I get home, we're going to be raising hell.
Yeah.
And tell everybody. And we just had a lot of people that we knew around town, friends and
so
folks.
It's popping.
Yeah. And so when I would get home from the race.
Well, what year is this?
This is 98, 99.
This is the prime.
Yeah. I'd get home from the race around 8, 9 o'clock, and we would just crank the music and start partying, and everybody'd show up. And for whatever reason, it was probably like midnight or something, man. We're right in the middle of it. Probably about 40, 50 people. He comes helicopters around the house, and he's not flying it, but he's in the passenger seat. And they're nosing that thing around the house. And everybody's parked their cars out in this field next to the house. And he's flying that thing around, and everybody runs out of the house. We were in the basement. Everybody runs out of the basement door and to their cars and jumps in their car.
Why'd they run?
They're like,
you guys...
Well, they were like, Dad, Dale's home. They thought he was going to land.
They thought Dale was
they
pissed.
thought he was going to land and come in there and raise hell or something. I don't know.
What helicopter was it? Do you remember?
He had a Bell.
Bell 407 or something?
I think so.
Oh, that's cool.
And so he just flew it around, then he went and landed, but like probably 80% of the people hauled ass. It was nothing but taillights out the driveway. He loved it. He thought it was hilarious.
That's awesome.
He
That's
had that
such a cool
kind of
story.
control.
What do you think of the quote, "Do it for Dale"?
I love it. You know, all these years later, I said this when he passed away, and I said it for probably a decade or so. Everybody be like, you know, what's your thoughts on losing your dad? And I'd go, my fear is that he'll one day just be forgotten with time. My worry would be that he would just disappear into the distance, right?
Yeah.
As we get further and further removed from his career. I was like, yeah, I just hope he's never forgotten because he left such an impact on the sport. And so that kind of thing is the staying power. That is the reminder to me, like, that he resonated with people.
Now that you say that, I would say that he has the most long-standing legendary status of any real motorsports driver.
Maybe.
Like, I think he does.
And so when I hear things like that, it's like, yeah, he still matters.
I say it at the end of every one of my videos.
I
Every
love it.
YouTube video I've ever had.
Yeah.
Maybe a few I've missed, but I always just say, thanks for watching. Do it for Dale.
I love it.
See you later.
Yeah. Do It for Dale is like a nod to Dad and his legacy, and it's tasteful. It's, you know, I'm thankful.
Well, I'm glad you like
Yeah,
it. And
I do.
I know I'm not the one who invented it. I just, you know, I think it's a great saying. It's like a lifestyle. My buddy Justin Keith said it to me one time, and I was like, do it for Dale.
Yeah.
It's literally, that's kind of like how we live our lives. It's
Yes.
like, we're just doing it for Dale.
That's right.
That's cool. I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, I do. I appreciate it.